I suffered 2 miscarriages in 2015. We found out I was pregnant on Valentine's Day, and several weeks later, we had a miscarriage, and that was detrimental to me because at that time I didn't know I wanted a second child. I was a firm believer in one and done. We were just going to be just one and done. And then when I found out I was pregnant, you get all these hopes and you envision future of doing it all over again, and the kid growing up and the siblings playing in Christmas and birthday parties. And it took me months to be okay with that and not seeing somebody pregnant and crying or getting mad at them, even though, obviously it wasn't their fault. And then later that year, I got pregnant again in October, and I was told I probably wouldn't be able to get pregnant again. And then so when I was pregnant again, it was, walking on eggshells and what's going to happen. And we had gone in at 9 weeks, and we had a heartbeat. And then a couple days later, I had cramping, and I knew what that meant because I remember from before. So I went into the doctor, and I had another miscarriage. And then I was just angry, very angry for a long time. And my husband and I had talked, and we had decided at that point, after going through 2 of those, that we were just done. And that leads me to my rainbow baby. And we had gone to Jamaica in May, and a little relaxation, I guess, and a little alcohol. And a couple weeks later, my period was late. And lo and behold, I was pregnant. And I was like, we were both very reserved about it, and we just didn't talk about it. And we kept going in. They had me go in for all kinds of testing and blood work and ultrasounds, and 13 weeks, 12 weeks, the doctor was like, okay, everything should be great. And 9 months later, I got my little Emily, who's my little rainbow, who's my joy. My rainbow baby, Emily, I cannot imagine my life without her now. Like, for us thinking at one point we were done and we didn't want any more, to see her now, she is just so happy and just smiley and giggly all the time. And I just could not imagine my life. I couldn't imagine my life without her. I can't imagine now seeing how her older brother is with him. I can't imagine now him growing up without her, because he's so attentive to her and he's so caring and loving. And I'm just now so glad that we get to do that as a family. My grief, when those 2 days roll around, when the months of February and October, November roll around, it gets hard and I get sad because it's hard to think of the what if. But then I think of that I wouldn't have had Emily. And I'm a firm believer that things do happen for a reason, and there is a reason why I had those 2 miscarriages. And at the time, you can't see it because you're clouded by all these feelings and frustrations, and you're not feeling adequate enough, and what did I do wrong? And then when she, and God just happened to bless me with her, and maybe it wasn't the right time, whatever the case was. But I'm more aware, I'm more sensitive to people that have gone through it, because I guess before, when somebody would say that they had one, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. But after going through it, you're so much more sentimental about it, I guess, and there's so much more understanding, because I guess until you go through something, you don't really understand or get the grief that somebody else is going through. So I guess the grief it's made me more understanding and more attentive to others in that. Oh, give it time. Time heals all wounds, I guess. If it's meant to be, it'll be. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and there is a plan, and patience,